Hi all, we're just taking a break for 5 minutes. We'll be back by 12:30. Um, Sorry, I could have moved. So let's move to the second segment of the Toastmaster meeting, that is the table topic section, where the Toastmaster will give us a topic where each speaker has to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So let's welcome Toastmaster Prince, who will elaborate the Toastmaster section. So let's give a big round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Dikshita. Am I audible to the audience, to the
Yes.
virtual audience? Great. Thank you for the confirmation, Toastmaster Dikshita. So, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So, our theme today, quiet pursuits, reminds us that not all progress is loud. Some of the most meaningful achievements happen quietly when we are learning, improving, and staying consistent while no one is watching. And that's exactly where the table topic session is all about, giving us all a chance to practice thinking and speaking in our feet. It's where we pursue our confidence by giving one impromptu speech. So I will be calling a speaker at random and giving them a topic related to the theme today, and you will have 1 to 2 minutes to share your thoughts. No preparation, just your idea and authenticity. And I will encourage you to volunteer by raising hand also. So let's start. Let's dive in and celebrate our own quiet pursuit of becoming better communicator. Who would like to volunteer?
Do you have a guest who wants to volunteer?
Great. May I know your name, please?
It's Himanshu.
Himanshu. Hi, Himanshu. So, Himanshu, what's something you have been quietly pursuing in your life? What's something you have been quietly pursuing in your life, Toastmaster Himanshu?
Thank you, Glenn, for the topic. Well, something quietly that I have been pursuing in my life would be related to sports because around a year and a half back, I started playing table tennis. It was only out of my will to utilize my time better. Because even after my office hours, I had nothing much productive to do. So I started to pick up a sport because we have all learned that playing sports is a very healthy activity. So I also started doing it. And after a year and a half later, now I've realized how much of a better player I have become. It hasn't happened in a short span of time, or it wasn't because I was regularly competing in a tournament. It was only because I was participating and training every day. It was because of the support of the coach and my willpower to become better at it. So slowly and gradually, I've realized that every small step, every quiet moment that I spent realizing my game has helped me become a better player. And that's why I urge you all to pick up an activity which could help you become a better person, use your time better, and help you improve quietly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Himanshu. So, so yes, so when it comes to table tennis, it is a quite, intensive sports. And I signed it up for, and I twisted my ankle. So that's one instance I would like to share here. So great. So who would like to volunteer next? I got a ping from DTM Rupinder. Uh, would you like to take a topic?
You know I'm a DTM already. I was going to say I'm nervous about speaking. Yeah, go ahead. Let's take a topic.
Perfect. So DTM Rupinder, do you believe success needs to be loud to be real? Do you believe success needs to be loud to be real? DTM Rupinder.
My opinion is that nothing needs to be loud to be real. And I would go so far as to say that real things are not loud. I say so because in moments when we lie or when people lie, I find that they resort to speaking very fast and they resort to to yelling. I'll give you my example. Recently, I had to cover for a worker who could not go to the work site for whatever reason. Now, I knew that that worker had got a job elsewhere, but I also knew that I could convince that worker to come back to work with us. For the record, I work for a temp staffing agency over here. Anyway, the supervisor called me up and he asked me, "Where is Carlos?" And I said, "Well, Carlos is sick." And he said, "What happened to him?" I said, "I don't know. He just called in sick today." What happened was that Carlos was at the same work site working with another temp service agency provider. And now this guy is calling me up and he's asking me, "Can you check on Carlos where he is?" And I had no idea where Carlos was. In my world, I was trying to defend Carlos as much as possible. What I didn't know was that that idiot was at the same work site where I was sending him. So one thing led to another. We got into a heated argument. My boss stepped in. He had to bat on my side, a role which he clearly did not enjoy very much. And after that, we got into a fight because I yelled at him. I said that from where I stand, I was doing the right thing. And he said, "From where I stand, you were telling a lie." And then it hit me. And I very quietly said, "Yes, I was telling you. I shouldn't have done that." Well, cut a long story short, that worker is back with us working. We gave him a raise. But to your point, Mr. Table Topics Master, I don't think success is ever loud. I think lies are loud. Truth, truth suffers in silence. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you, DTM Rupinder. What a great perspective here. So, who is gonna sign up for the next topic? Arindam. Thank you, Arindam. Thank you, Toastmaster Arindam. What's more powerful? Silent effort or visible achievement? What's more powerful? Silent effort or visible achievement? Toastmaster Arindam.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. I would correlate both the cases. Silent efforts results in bigger achievements. Just to give a simple example, which I learned once India won the champion trophy. There was this throwdown bowler by the name of Raghu, if anyone knows that. He also wanted to play cricket and he was a great fielder. But destiny had other plans. He met with an accident and he somehow went to Bangalore at the National Coaching Academy, and then he was there as a throwdown bowler, wherein you can see the bowling machines throwing the ball at the batsman, and he was a throwdown bowler, a throwdown specialist. But before that, he worked at railway stations. He slept at the graveyard for 4 years. He did not take any money. But the greatest achievement came when India won the Champions Trophy, and that's where Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli attributed the success to that particular gentleman. And the whole of the BCCI and the staff gave him a reward for his selfless attitude, wherein he was constantly working day and night to help the batsmen to achieve their goals. And that's why I say, why I correlate both this. The silent struggles which they have made, which Raghu has done, is a living example of how success can come, and finally this success will show the light of the day. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arindam. What a great perspective and explaining it through a beautiful story. So let me just take the topic first and asking for the speaker. So the next topic is, why do we often underestimate quiet people? Who would like to volunteer this? A very easy topic. I can repeat. Anybody is there? I don't see any hand raising up. Vibhanshu. So then I will need to change the topic. I think he is the speaker who can explain this particular topic very well. So let me just stick with the topic. So Vibhanshu, why do we often underestimate quiet people? Why do we often underestimate quiet people, Toastmaster Vibhanshu?
The society where we are living, I have noticed one thing, like people who are noisy. People think that they have more confidence, or they get recognition everywhere. Even in my office, I have seen. Being an introvert, I noticed that nobody noticed like me. But there are people who are doing nothing. They are getting promotions and they are doing other things. It happens because people think that, as I'm saying, like if you are more communicating with people, they think that you are more confident, but it is not. While somebody who is living in silence, like if I talk about me, I know more about me. But these people are expert about other people. So everybody has their weakness and strength. I have my own. With time, I learned what I know and what I need to learn. Similarly, if I talk about why people underestimate, there are few other factors. Because quiet people often don't like to chase recognition. They simply want to keep working on their own purpose or whatever they want. And it also happened with me. Uh, like 1 or 2 years ago, I had no desire that I want to get recognition. I simply used to go to office, used to do my work. That's all. Because I was getting my salary on time and everything was great. But later on, I realized that if wrong people are getting promoted, wrong people are getting recognition. Why right people are not getting recognition? If I have the ability to to do better things, I am supposed to like take initiative to improve myself. So now I'm quiet, but I'm also learning how to be extrovert or how to not extrovert. I would say in my language, how to handle every situation in my language. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vibhanshu, for sharing your perspective here. So who would like to volunteer? Somebody from the online audience? Yes, please. Toastmaster Shilpi. Let me find a tough one. I know you are a great speaker when it comes to table topics. Toastmaster Shilpi. What role does self-discipline play in quiet pursuit? What role does self-discipline play in quiet pursuits? Toastmaster Shilpi.
So I think if there's one superpower that anybody who is in any kind of a self journey or self growth journey, which I think all of us are, right? If there's one superpower that anybody has, is discipline. And the way I equate discipline is also consistency. There is something about being absolutely motivated, self-motivated, about pulling yourself up every single time when you are trying to learn something new, when you're trying to get better at something, when to fall down, when there's nobody else you can actually stand up and ask for help for, because you know people out there are going to judge you, people out there are going to make an opinion about you. It's somewhere that you yourself are the only person responsible, where you have to pull yourself up, you have to keep at it. And that's where I strongly believe, Toastmaster friends and everybody else, that discipline and consistency, and I see them absolutely synonymous in every way. Discipline and consistency is the only single biggest superpower that can actually take you in your pursuit of anything that you're pursuing, whether quietly, whether openly, or any journey that you are singularly on. So superpower, discipline is all that I believe which is there, and motivating yourself every single time is what I think. Thank you.
Undoubtedly, Toastmaster Shilpi. Thank you. So now I would like to call Toastmasters Anurag onto the stage. Hope I'm not putting you on the spot, Toastmaster Anurag.
That's okay.
Good to see you after a long time. Toastmaster Anurag. Describe a goal you are pursuing quietly right now. Describe a goal you are pursuing quietly right now. Toastmaster Anurag.
I am right now in my mid-40s. The only thing that makes me worry is how to keep the longevity. As a professional, I'm in a very sedentary lifestyle, being working there. So health is number one prominent, thing that I need to focus on to bring this longevity into my life there. And the other factor that is contributing me why I'm emphasizing on the longevity, I have read Warren Buffett book, Stock Market. Yeah. If you remain, invested for the longer period of time, the returns will automatically fall there on the longer side of it. But other factor is these days we are all sort of life. There is so much chaos everywhere. Everything is so demanding, starting from our personal life or our professional life. But in all this chaos, the one thing that we are ignoring, we are not focusing on our personal life. And that is a prominent thing that I am doing on a daily basis. And luckily, I started this during COVID basically. When I realized the fragility of life, we are focusing on all number of things, but how fragile we are. I started doing, started with simple exercises. Then I went into yoga. Now I'm little bit by bit, I'm also inculcating meditation into my life, and I'm doing it regularly. Every morning I set light around, around half an hour, 45 minutes for me, quiet moments, no disturbance, quiet period for me. And I'm working on these things. And I'm doing it continuously without fail. Even if it's weekend, for my exercise, my yoga, there is no holiday. Because that's what keeps me energized, and it makes me and prepare me for the day's work. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anurag. I will share a couple of more topics. So, who would like to volunteer next? I can. So, should I start calling?
Yes.
I'm not able to hear the audience.
There's one more guest room in this.
Okay, we have a host volunteer.
It's last topic. Last topic.
Okay. Gentlemen, can I have your name, please?
It's Romel.
Romil. Thank you, Romil. Thank you, guest Romil. So your topic is how do you stay motivated when no one is watching? How do you stay motivated when no one is watching? Guest Romil.
Alright, so for me, the only motivation I get is from my family. So a quick introduction about myself is I've had social anxiety for quite some time now. I would say almost 15, 16 years. Um, and if it wasn't for the support of my family, I don't think I would have gotten to this stage. Um, so thing here is everything about me, like my character would say like he should be this one guy who's working in a corner, should be doing nothing in life, should not have even reached this level. But everything I've done so far is because they've motivated me to get to a certain stage in life. Every few years, I end up getting promotions which I don't want to. Like I work quietly. Like okay, I'm sorry, a bit nervous, but my life journey is very synonymous to today's meeting. Yeah, with the speak. It's like I'm like a survivor. I do nothing, but I end up reaching to a point where I shouldn't be. And again, like my motivation is my family. So that I'm sorry, but there's the train of thought isn't there. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah. So it's just my family. The reason I reached here, and again, I have to do this, and that's why I'm here today. Generally, I would not even step up, but I thought let me do this today, and hopefully in the future I would have a train of thought, to say things. But yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Guest Romil. It was nice. It was wonderful hearing you. So, thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, for sharing your thoughts so beautifully. Today's session reminded me that every quiet pursuit, whether it is building confidence, mastering a craft, or simply showing up, brings us closer to our best selves. May we continue to chase our dreams, not with noise, but with purpose and persistence. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Dikshita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prince, for a lovely, energizing session. Now let's move to the last segment. That is basically where we all want to see what happened to Toastmaster while continuing her quiet person. So you must all be wondering, since I started journaling and most of the reels we have been seeing that moment you journal, moment you start writing manifestation, and manifestation just puts it on your plate. Do you all think that I got clarity or I got a project immediately after I started journaling? How many are for yes and how many are for no? I started journaling, right? Because I didn't have anything to do, I started journaling. So I started to structure my thoughts. Do you all think that I got clarity immediately the moment I started journaling? No. How many for no, how many for yes? No.
No.
Wow, bang on. Yes. I did get clarity immediately, but what I found was peace in chaos. I always wanted to freelancing. Again, the question comes, what to do? Freelancing is something you can do freely, but what to do? I didn't know that also. So I started exploring where I'm good at. I started assessing my strengths and I started something I wanted to do from a very long time, but due to like time constraint or whatever you put it, I started doing that. I did find a project after almost 2 months. But if I stand firm and say that is that a right path? Again, my answer is no, because I still don't know. But when I took that project, it actually aligned with my mindset. It made me realize like, yes, I can take it up because now I am in that space or in that mindset that actually will help me in my growth, in my career growth. So they're Toastmasters. If you don't know what to do in life, you're clueless and you're just stuck. Just remember one thing, you have yourself with you. You might not get clarity immediately, but eventually you will. At that moment, you just have to take a pause, take a moment and think what makes you happy. If a particular thing makes you happy, it is aligned with your journey, then take it up. But just take a pause and relax for a moment instead of panicking. And and as I stand here, when I talk about that quote, if you don't know what to do yourself, pursue yourself. Pursue being the most confident, healed, and positive person, and the right path will reveal on its own. Did the right path reveal? I'm still on the journey. But if I'm pursuing myself, if I have to say that, then of course I'm pursuing myself mindfully. Thank you so much. Let's talk about the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Rashmi, to start with the evaluation section. What a wonderful session, Toastmaster Dakshita. If you don't know what to pursue yourself. Such an inspiring session. I would talk more about it in my report. So let's start with the evaluation of the prepared speakers. I would like to call Toastmaster Sushmita, the evaluator of Toastmaster Rhythm Speech. Toastmaster Sushmita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I just got to take this call. Hello? Yes, ma. I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later, okay? Well, how many times have we done that? Maybe it was urgent, maybe it was not. But did I even bother to ask her? That moment, that choice that I just made says a lot about our priorities in life. And that's exactly what your speech reminded of Toastmaster Rhythm. It was a hard-hitting message, but wrapped in honesty, and asking us to pause, think, introspect what truly matters in our life. Your speech explored that theme beautifully. Let me start unraveling your speech on what worked, the wow moments. The first, the relatability. The message that you brought in, the stories that you brought in, relatable. I almost got a tinge of self-guilt and a lump in the throat moment because, I was reliving those moments of when I took a wrong choice and deprioritized on life. Second, the analogy that you used of Ramayana. I think you struck a gold mine there. Using mythology or any past historic event from the past, it's a great way to establish a proof of concept to the audience, which makes your message timeless and unforgettable. Third, you ended your speech with a call to action. Now, I always say this that a story without a call to action is soulless, but your speech had it. And it's all about when you said that we all have choices, but we are the ones to decide what's the priority of your life. So you aced that. Coming to the recommendations, I always say this that no speech is perfect. There's always room for improvement, and that's why we are in Toastmasters because it's a work in progress. You could have worked on some of the areas, starting with the audience engagement. We all know the 7-second rules of public speaking, the hook, how you start. So you had a question in the beginning, but you could have made it a little fancier and engage the audience like a quick show of hands. How many of us think you know your priorities right? That would you don't need to go to the audience comes to you that way. Second, the vocal variety. I was waiting for you to play around with your vocal. Well, for any speech, the game changer is the vocal variety, which makes the stories come alive. There was a lot of playing ground that you could have played upon when you were talking about the story in the start about the family, the people having meal together, the brothers, they didn't have any bond, or maybe the story of Bharat and the companion. You could have made the story in a conversational manner, like they conversing with each other uh, in a kind of an active voice. So that would have been great if you would have used that. The third is your hand gesture. You only use the hand gestures when you are making a certain, a certain messaging or like conflict. You did this. Uh, an open hand gesture, your palms open this way when you speak. Uh, that way, you're inviting the audience. And my fourth recommendation is on the stage usage. You started your speech uh, and you ended your speech in the center. Now, this is perfectly fine for a hybrid audience, but when you actually start playing in the championship level, you need to make a better use of the stage. So maybe, for example, start in the center. When you begin your first story, move towards the left. Second story, move towards the right, and come back again towards the center to share your core theme or the message. So overall, just to summarize my entire speech, is great on the relatability, call to action, analogies. Where you could have worked upon is the audience engagement, use of more vocal variety, hand gesture, and stage usage. Toastmaster Rhythm, let me tell you this thing that I see a potential great storyteller making in you. And if you kind of elevate your speeches, taking these recommendations into account, I think the whistle will blow 1,000 miles and your voice will resonate with the audience. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sushmita, for the detailed feedback. Next, we have Toastmaster Manish, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Vivanshu's speech. A big round of applause for Manish.
Have you ever felt undervalued at work despite working hard? Vivanshu started his speech with this rhetorical question, which, as we saw, was quite relatable, and it instantly drew me in. And using these kind of questions is a wonderful way of opening your speech because it makes the audience reflect on their own experiences and makes them instantly connect to the speech. The second thing which I really liked was that as the objective of the speech required, there was humor sprinkled throughout. I actually burst out laughing when he said, "There was no sister, there was no wedding." Third, Vivanshu built the characters very well. There were two other characters in the speech: Keshav, his friend, who knew the system well, who knew Sunil well, and Sunil, who was the quintessential boss, who was very good at communication skills. And characters, having characters in your story, anchored to your story, it makes the audience actually imagine and see the people that you're interacting with. Now, just like the corporate world, a little constructive feedback could and little tweaks could turn this humorous speech into an unforgettable one. First, as former world champion of public speaking Manoj Vasudevan says, have characters in your speech and make them interact. Now, Vibhanshu did make the characters interact, but I felt that the interaction was more in the form of narration. Keshav said this, I said that, right? Or Sunil said this, I said that. If we could have seen Sunil's tone, facial expressions, right? If you could have just indicated by changing your position on the stage as to who is speaking. For instance, Sunil, for instance, when Sunil is asking, what is the reason for the speech? What's the reason for the speech? And you come here, you give your answer that it's my cousin's wedding. And then you go into narration mode when you come into the middle, when you say that there is no wedding and there is no sister. So that would have made your speech come alive. That would have made us see the expressions, the tone of Sunil and yours. Second recommendation that I have is that the closing felt more like a recap of what you have stated rather than a clear takeaway for the audience. I felt the actual message of the speech could have been about perseverance. That even if you face rejection initially, you can use influence and creativity to get what you want, rather than telling us what influence is again at the end. So to sum up, you had an engaging opening, humor sprinkled throughout. You developed the characters well. if you can present the interaction between the characters in the form of dialogue and have a clear takeaway for the audience at the end, your speech won't just be numerous, it would be an unforgettable one.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. Next, we have Toastmaster Anirudham for Toastmaster Harsh speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I have Toastmaster Harsh also?
Yes, you can start. Anirudham.
Can I have Harsh also? I mean, if we can stand up across, it will be great. Thank you. Wow, Harsh, I did not at all believe it was your second speech. The way your confidence showed up. If this is your second speech and you're delivering it at this level, I'm wondering what will happen at the end of the entire levels. Let me appreciate the artistry which you brought. Number one, your great energy and confidence. You are a natural speaker and you had that audience engagement with questions. I love the respect. The second part was good vocabulary, content, as well as storyline. It's very difficult to maintain all the three, and you did it with a great sense of responsibility and a touch of humor. You had a great control over your language, and you have aced the storytelling skills. You are a natural speaker. And third, most importantly, you have a call to action. In every story, it is important to have call to action, wherein you need to give something back to the audience so that they can take away. If I'm a member of the audience, let's say if it's a speech of 10 or 15 minutes, at least I should take 1 point. And 1 point which I've taken from your speech, which you talked about, is about situational awareness and risk reward ratio. I like the respect. Great work. Since you are at your second speech, I have 2 small recommendations. The first recommendation was you use the phrase in Hindi. Try to avoid that. The reason being is, let's say if you're giving a speech in front of a larger audience, someone who doesn't know Hindi, he will not be able to correlate that. The best way which I use is, if I use a quote or a phrase which is not in English, translate into English so that the other person can also know what is being spoken about. The second part is pause. You had a great storyline, but incorporate pauses. It helps the audience to absorb the information. The best way to do it is, when you write a speech, try to use paragraph notation. That way, you will know that the next segment has to start. Or wherever a new story has to begin, just keep a pause of about 2 to 3 seconds, and then we can move on to the next part. But overall, what I loved about your speech was your energy, your confidence, the way you shouted good morning. I thought this is the time to wake up. You had good vocabulary, good content, a great call to action. Just work on those pauses and translate the phrase into English. You will be good to go for the next speech. And for your third speech, as I already told you, just read the evaluation form first. You know what is required, and you will deliver a much better speech. It was 9 on 10 today, and I'm sure it will be 10 on 10 tomorrow. Thank you. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Anirudham. Now let's hear from our role players who are silently observing the overall thing. So first we have Toastmaster Saurabh, who was the timer of the meeting.
Thank you so much. Back again with my detailed timing reports. Let's dive into it. The first segment, prepared speeches, Toastmaster Rhythm. You took it to 7 minutes, 14 seconds. Toastmaster Vivanshu, the second speaker. Vivanshu? 7 minutes, 59 seconds. Toastmaster Hulks, the third speaker. 7 minutes, 19 seconds. The second segment, the table topic session. Guest Himanshu, you took 1 minute, 25 seconds. Toastmaster Rupinder, I think you took 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Toastmaster Arindam,
You took 1 minute 43 seconds. Toastmaster Divanshu, 1 minute 46 seconds. Toastmaster Shilpi, 1 minute 49 seconds. Toastmaster Anurag, 1 minute 44 seconds. Guest Romel, 1 minute 53 seconds. The last segment for evaluator, Toastmaster Sushmita, you took 4 minutes 45 seconds. Toastmaster Manish, 3 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Arindam, 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Back to general evaluators.
Next, let's welcome Toastmaster Anurag, who was the arbiter for today's meeting.
Thanks so much. So I was so elated today. We have so many guest speakers today, so it was very easy for me. Generally, when you take some role, either you are taking speaker's role or some other role, half the time you are occupied in your role. But today I have the luxury to enjoy everything there. Let's start with Toastmaster Dikshita. You have used 2 times two, and you have used repeated words 2 times. But considering the amount of time you have spent over the stage, it's very nice. Good job done. Toastmaster Rashmi, I haven't noticed anything so far till on the stage. Toastmaster Solo, you have used 3 times 2 times, particularly during the Sanjay and Om's role. The one thing that I want to particularly highlight, speed. Just go a little slow. The things will automatically go down. Okay? So you have to practice on that, because I'm observing all the time these things comes up because you are a little bit, more with the pauses were missing. You were just running like that. So that needs to be taken care. Can you off it? Toastmaster Shilpi, all good. Nothing to notice so far. Great speaker. You should prepare for an upcoming event. I would say. Yeah. Guest Sushmita, 2 times, D 3 times. Toastmaster Rhythm, you have used the word repeated of multiple times and 2 times. Toastmaster Manish. So I would really want to applaud you. You have given whole evaluation without a reference point. That was a unique point for me. I haven't noticed anyone giving the evaluation without having a reference sheet with them. Great job done. And just you have used 2 times, and it's 1 or 2 times as well. That you can take it next time. Toastmaster Vivanshu, longer pauses 2 times or 3 times. Toastmaster Harsh, I had the same feedback for you. 2 low pauses. The story was very good, but we were not getting the required time to comprehend your story. You were switching from one thought to another thought too quickly. You need to work on that. Otherwise, because I would no positive asset, but the speed was the problem. You need to put some breaks in between. Then Toastmaster DTM, all good. I could not notice anything. Toastmaster Arindam, all good. Guest Himanshu, you have repeated the word 2 or 5 and then use it 2 or 3 times. Guest Rumil, it's good. You have tried. It's very first time. I know it's very difficult to come on the stage when you are attending any meeting. If I can imagine myself, you have done a different job here. And as a feedback, you have used 2 times and 2 times. So that's very good for me. Over to you.
Master Anurag for the detailed feedback. Next, we have Toastmaster Shilpi from Indian Food.
Before I do the evaluation, I have to admit that I'm elated to share that this is one of the very few meetings that I have attended where I barely find anything grammatically that I can give feedback on. So I can just shut my book and basically go back and sit in my seat. But there is always something. So I have very few observations, but what I'm going to spend a little bit more time on is some excellent phrases that I heard today, some words, phrases to articulate themselves. And I thought it was a great learning for me as well. So just to start with a little bit of feedback, I'm not going to take any names, but just the phrases and how could those be used better. I heard fixed every speeches, so the S did not land at that point. Mid of speaking, while I'm speaking, in the midst of talking, mid of speaking is not the right usage. Couple of times, this lead to big difference. And the usage of the word lead is not appropriate. The usage should have been this led to a massive difference, big difference. I was consistently working for the last 8 to 9 months. While there's nothing really wrong about it, but it could have been used like I was continuously working for the last 8 to 9 months would have sounded better. I don't have problem. I don't have a problem. These are just some of the words that I heard. Have never taken leaves. Has never taken leaves. This is pretty much all that was there to correct a little bit. But some outstanding usage of phrases. Just want to capture a few while the lots are written. And this is Toastmaster Dikshita's notebook. And if you can manage to read my handwriting, you can possibly look at it. But captain of the ship, very nicely used at the right time. Awkward silence, talking something, extremely well used just at the right time. Started gaslighting, peace in chaos, used brilliantly there. Audacity of drivers, again, very well used. Death said, very nicely used. Life reminded me. So some of these phrases actually just capture the attention. I thought they were used brilliantly. Overall, excellent meeting from a Romanian point of view. I think it's one of the best meetings I've attended so far from a mathematical perspective.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shilpi. Now let's start with the overall evaluation, starting with Sergeant at Arms. So Toastmaster Saurav, you opened the meeting with great enthusiasm. One thing that I loved about today's meeting is that you made a small twist in your speech, that you tested the audience by asking the full form of MRP, which drew everyone's attention. Next is presiding officer, Toastmaster Dikshita. She always brings warm energy to the meeting. She announced the Toastmaster of the month. She welcomed all the guests. And you did a fantastic job in setting up the theme and keeping the energy alive throughout the meeting. I love the theme of the meeting, Quiet Pursuit. And you introduced the words Shraddha and Sabodhi and gave us the meaning as well, which struck with me. That was devotion and patience. And you introduced us to a very great concept that we try to control everything in our life. But the truth is, we all never have any control. So that's the wonderful message. You introduced all the speakers. You added comments after every speech. And you asked the question between the transition from prepared speaker to Toastmaster, to table topic master session. And you made everyone participate. The guests were very engaged. You asked questions from each of the guests and the speakers, which kept everyone engaged and kept the momentum alive. And you also shared your ways and strategy of how you cope up with the similar situation after listening the stories from the audiences. And the theme of the meeting was beautifully woven in each of the section. And it was clear that everyone put in the great energy and effort. So great participation from the audience as well, both online and offline. Next, table topic master, Toastmaster Prince. You did a commendable job. Mostly, I've seen that the table topics are not really related to the theme of the meeting, but you were cognizant about that. All the topics were related to the theme of the meeting. And the other thing that I loved in your speech, that you also added a twist. You gave the topic first, and then you asked the audience to volunteer, so that we did something different in today's meeting. Next, you explained the section well, and your all the topics were related to the theme, and the process and the pace of the entire section was very smooth and seamless. You made everyone participate. You called out guests as well and the new member to participate in the meeting. And yeah, one quick recommendation for you that I felt the topics were a bit repetitive. Like Toastmaster Himanshu's topic was quite relatable to Toastmaster Anurag's topic. So we can work on that. Next, coming to the table topic speakers, Toastmaster Himanshu. Your topic was what something you have been pursuing in your life. First of all, thank you for raising the hand first in the meeting. It shows that your confidence is really amazing. And you were, so your entire speech was related to the topic. You explained the sports that you are practicing it and how you're becoming better at it. And you had a strong closing and you left the audience with a strong call to action that what is their one thing which keeps them going. So kudos on that. Next is Toastmaster Rupinder. Your topic was, do you believe success needs to be loud or to be real? You started with a strong opening that nothing needs to be loud. So that statement in itself is very engaging and it stuck with me. And you explained the situation which in your that happened in your work and you tied them back to the topic. So I think it was wonderful. And you had a strong closing as well. Next is Toastmaster Arindam. Thanks for taking up two roles in the meeting, evaluation and the table topic speaker. What's your topic was what's more powerful, silent effort or visible achievement? So overall, I think you had a great speech. You actually linked both silent effort and visible achievement to the story that you shared. No pauses were there, no filler words, just amazing. And one feedback I'm just looking forward to have you more on the stage and take up maybe some different roles apart from evaluation, which you are already good at. Next is Toastmaster Vibhanshu. His energy, his enthusiasm is commendable. And thanks for taking up two roles. Your topic was why do we often underestimate quiet people? So I love your body language. Your opening was amazing. But one recommendation, you slightly diverted from the topic. But in the end, you actually showed how you want to be an extrovert person, but it wasn't really related to the topic that you had gotten. So maybe we can work on the closing part. Next is Toastmaster Shilpi. Your topic was what role does self-discipline play in quiet pursuit? So basically, whenever you come onto the stage, I think everyone has a feedback to take back. Everyone has a takeaway to. Everyone has a great takeaway, and I think you mentioned about discipline and consistency, how it should go hand in hand, and how both the elements are important if we want to achieve something in life. And I think thank you so much for taking up two roles again. And you did a commendable job, and I'm looking forward to having you on. Then Toastmaster Anurag, describe the role you are pursuing quietly right now. So you started with a great opening. Your pace was consistent throughout, and the way you started and opened your speech, and you had a pause after that strong opening, so which drew everyone's attention, and you had a great closure. You left the audience with a challenge as well, and you explained about how your personal health and the sports activities that you're working on currently is helping you out throughout the journey. And it all was relatable to the topic. Next is guest Rumin. Thank you for participating. Loved your confidence. Kudos for speaking impromptu for the very first time. Love that how you shared your idea, how you shared your personal thing like social anxiety that you're working on, and how your parents are helping out in your journey, and how they keep you motivated. Only feedback is to come more to the stage and take up multiple roles, and looking forward to have you as a member. Then comes the evaluation part. Evaluator number one, Toastmaster Toastmaster Sushmita. So all the evaluators followed the CRC approach. The first evaluator, the good things that I like about it is that you explain the recommendations really well. You showed the examples as well how Toastmaster rhythm can improve. And one quick recommendation is I thought that you can work on the balance between commendation and recommendation. Love the commendation that you share, but the recommendation part was a bit longer. So to keep the energy and to motivate the speaker, we can work on more commendations. But overall, the explanation was really well. You picked up some phrases from the Toastmaster rhythm speech and explained how he can incorporate those in his next speech. Next is Toastmaster Manish, who evaluated Toastmaster Vibhanshu's speech. You started with a strong opening, and you picked it up from Toastmaster Vibhanshu's speech. That was commendable. Then, when it comes to the recommendation, you shared a quote of one of the best public champions of the public speaker. So I think that that actually stuck with me, and that made more impact in your speech. You used the stage well while evaluating, and you showed some examples to Toastmaster Vibhanshu how he can incorporate it, and you showed if you were there, so how you would have done that better. So that created a great, vivid, and cinematic explanation to your evaluation. Next is evaluator number 3, Toastmaster Anirudham. So what I loved about your evaluation is you saw the potential in Toastmaster Hirsch's speech and you appreciated it the very first thing. So which kept the speaker motivated. The one recommendation that I have for you is since you observed the potential in Toastmaster Hirsch, you could have given one challenge to Toastmaster Hirsch that he could work on in his next speech. Then comes the role players. Timer, again, great for taking up 2 roles, Toastmaster Saurabh. I love that how you point out the speaker and make sure that he is listening to you, which naturally adds a great humor to the speech. Our counter and Ramirian, thank you so much for taking up the role last minute. Okay, so one thing that I really loved about the R counter speeches, you were not just giving the count of filler words, you were actually observing the speaker and seeing his or her progress throughout, like how the speaker performed in his previous speeches and previous meetings, and how he is incorporating in today's meeting. So now that feedback was very valuable and insightful. Dramarian, yeah, you took up the role last minute. You highlighted the correct usage of the language and the incorrect usage. And one thing that I loved about the Dramarian speeches, you explained the incorrect version, and you also showed how it can be pronounced or spoken better. So that I love. Quick recommendation: when we are explaining the word and phrase of the day, you can maybe write on the whiteboard or you can post in the guest room. Also, we missed how many people use the word and the phrase of the day. So next time we can highlight to keep the energy up. Okay, I think I have covered everything. In the conclusion, I think overall the meeting was really good. It was inspiring. The theme was great. It kept the energy alive throughout the meeting, and audience energy was great. Everyone was enthusiastic, and everyone participated and shared their personal stories. And I feel elated to be part of this meeting. We are about to have the session, so
Recording is on.
no, it's second one. It's on anyways. Yeah. So as we are about to wrap up the session, so let's hear feedback from our guest. And meanwhile, the voting link has been shared with the guest group. Please vote for your favorite role players. Omen, are you in the guest group?
Yes.
Yeah, just open that link and you can just vote for your favorite role players. Okay. So let's hear from our first guest. And before I announce her name, she's my friend. And let's welcome Toastmaster Sushmita.
Thank you, Dikshita, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity and the entire team to entire club. My experience was like beyond words, and honestly speaking, um, I came with a different mindset, and I'm leaving with a different mindset after attending this session. Uh, uh, the first thing that I'd like to say is, which I also kind of secretively messaged you, the quality of your club members. Oh my God, I just beyond imagination. The quality is right up there. I always used to think Calcutta people are, the best, but some of the best public speakers. But my uh, entire philosophy just got changed by this one club speech today that I attended. Lot to learn, lot to speak. It really gave me a reality check. Like I thought someone, if like I thank the general evaluator for a wonderful recommendation that she shared, and rightly so. A lot for me to work on, and yeah, that's all I would like to end. And I made some great connections in this club, and I'll get in touch with them to learn so much that they have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kashmira, for the wonderful feedback and grateful to you that you have joined our meeting. Thank you so much. And let's hear from our last guest Roman.
Yeah, I've visited a few meetings that the Toastmasters. Always enjoy it. It's fun. And generally the table topics and it's improvising. But when I give it a shot. But yeah, it's been fun. I always like these these sections, the speeches, the table topic, and how everybody is evaluated. Anyway,
Thank you so much, guest Roman. Hope to see you in our future meetings. And now I hope everybody has voted for their favorite role players. Yeah. Let me announce the winners. Best auxiliary role player, timer Saurabh, Toastmaster Saurabh, grammarian Toastmaster Shilpi, and our counter Toastmaster Anurag. I think we don't need any guesses. Toastmaster Shilpi. Just have your picture. Thank you. Best role player, Toastmaster Dikshita, Toastmaster of the Day. Table topic master, Toastmaster Prince, and general evaluator, Toastmaster Rashmi. It's a tie between Toastmaster Dikshita and Toastmaster Rashmi. Okay. Thank you. Quickly, I move to the. Okay. Best prepared. Best speaker, Toastmaster Rhythm, Toastmaster Vivanshu, Toastmaster Harsh. Any guesses? Tie between Toastmaster Vivanshu and Toastmaster Harsh. Thank you. Best table topic speaker, guest Himanshu, Toastmaster DTM Rupender sir, Toastmaster Arindam, Toastmaster Vivanshu, Toastmaster Shilpi, Toastmaster Anurag, guest Roman. It's guest Himanshu. Yeah, done. Okay. Best evaluator, Toastmaster Shishmita, Toastmaster Manish, Toastmaster Arindam. I think it's won by a seasoned Toastmaster, Toastmaster Manish. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining our meeting. And before I wrap up, just want to remind you that there are certain activities going on in the Toastmasters Club. First of all, you can refer your friend or your colleague and you can get some goodies, which I've already posted in our club group. And secondly, there's one more award that now instead of paying your membership for 6 months, you can pay for the whole year. So we have already that also I have posted in the group. Do check out the group space and make sure that we help our club to grow. And we have an amazing offer as well. Yes, we do have an amazing offer for the full circle. So let's wait for the flyer. It will be released by end of this week. Thank you so much for joining our meeting, and let's take a Zoom peek. So, Ayushi, can you take a Zoom view for us? Ayushi, are you there?
Let me try.
Yeah. Take a screenshot.
Okay.
आगे आ जाओ क्या?
Okay.
Yeah.
2 and 1.
Rhythm. Yeah.
I am okay. I have taken it on phone, but it isn't coming the way we want it to be.
Okay.
No, not properly. Okay, I've taken a screenshot. I'll share it with you in the group.
Yeah. Take a screenshot only.
Done.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye. See you.